Ooh, another new video today. Today I'm going to be fitting a set of Series 2 Escort RS Turbo seats in my daughter's Flame Red Mini. So let me just show you the seats. They're kind of upside down because they're laying on the back of my mini truck. But it's just a couple of little things on them. There's that little wear on one of the bolsters there on the side. But the rest of the seats are pretty clean. There's one little tear in one of the back of them as well, but a little bit of super glue will sort that out, I think, which I shall probably do today. And I started stripping the car out. Well, got the floor mats out the front, but that's what she's got in there at the moment. No headrest, etc. So we're going to put them RS Turbo seats in there. I've got to try and get hold of some material, maybe from another RS Turbo rear seat, take the covers off and recover her rear seat with them. Then maybe do something with the door cards, but that's for future. I want to get the front seats in there today, make it a bit more comfortable, a bit more nicer to drive. Right, let's get these front seats ripped out and have a look, see what we're up against. Right, that's seat number one out. Been thinking as well, I'm going to have to get rid of that loop that the mini seat sits on, aren't I? Yeah. Well, I don't know, I might see where the Escort seat sits first, because I mean it obviously will block up holes in the floor. I mean, if I can leave it there, if it's possible. Right, let's get the RS Turbo seat and see how it fits. Right, here's the first issue with the RS Turbo seat runners pushed as far back as it will go. The seat base is, well, I don't know if it'll be alright. I might have to try and block the back of the seat up with a bit of wood or something and have a sit in it, because I'm probably the biggest person that's going to drive this. So yeah, I was thinking I might have to cut this upright off and then weld something onto the seat runner to go down a bit further forward to make the seat sit further back, but let me get a bit of wood. No, that's not too bad at all, actually. I think that should be all right. So carry on with plan A. But it does look like I'm going to have to do something with the rear seat brackets, because they're, you can't see again, can you? Let's get my torch. They're on the floor at the moment, but the seat is tipped right back, so I'm going to have to cut those off, I think, off of the seat runners and extend them further down. So right, let's see if we can get these front brackets made first, get them front seat bolts in. Right, marked out these plates I'm going to cut. It's out of 2mm sheet steel, so I'm going to cut these 4 squares out. They're not exactly squares, they're 3.5 by 3.5 inches. Yeah, another imperial measurement. Well, it's an imperial car, surely. Yeah, so I'm going to cut them out, mark out the holes on there, on 2 of them, sort of fix them, drill the holes, fix them to the car, and then offer the seat back in and mark where that seat fits, and then figure out some way of mounting a stud to the plates. So right, let's get cutting these out. Right, what I've done now, I've made these plates. I've made obviously enough for both sides. Bolted the plate to the front of the seat runner and put the seat forward and marked. As you can see, this little red dot there, if you can see that. I've just started taking this plate out again, so I've got a dot either side where this bottom bracket of the Escort seat fits. So the plan is now to maybe weld a stud. I think that's probably the best thing to do, is weld a bolt basically onto the front of that plate for the seat to sit to. So I think that's what I'm going to be doing now. Just going to take them plates back off. We'll do one side at a time because they're bound to be different either side, aren't they? Yeah, and then we've got to tackle the rear of the seat, which I think is going to be the most fun. Yeah, just welded these bolts on here, which is, it's gone alright, that's fine. But I've just noticed though that that's a hell of a big square metal plate, and look at the actual surface area that I'm using. So I think we can cut them down a bit, make them a bit smaller, make them a bit tidier really, won't it? Yeah, and then I can just clean them all up, give them some paint, stop them rusting. And let's get the front of the seat in. Right, now I've got the seat bolted in on the front. Seat down there, so the brackets are in and painted and bolted to the box section. But the big problem is I've just tried to sit in there and the seat is well too far forward. I don't know if you can see from there, the original Mini seat is actually further back. So I've got to cut them brackets off of the front of the seat runners and flip them round so they're the other way. That should put the seat back probably another good sort of 3 inches, 4 inches maybe. So that's what I've got to do now. Whip the seat back out, cut them brackets off. So here we are with one of the seat runners off of the recaro in the vise. I'm going to grind these 2 little rivets off so I can get that bracket off, and then I should be able to turn the bracket round so the upright is at the front. That should give us a lot more backwards sitting movement on the seat and a lot more adjustability. Now while I'm at it, probably going to grind these ones off as well, because I've got an idea with this. What I might do, depending on how far I've got to space this up so this is on the floor, I might, but I've got some little 1-inch box section, I might weld some box section to that and then weld the bracket back onto the box section. I don't know, we'll see how far we've got to space that first, you know. So anyway, let's get this cut off. I'll do the one that's on the other side of the seat as well. That still haven't taken that off. Oh yes, I'm using the bonnet of my pickup truck as a bench. Silly really, but okay, so let's get this cut off. Right, scrap that. Even having the brackets this way round, no good. It's still not really sitting far enough back. So I think we're now on plan C.5. I'm going for this bit of angle line on the front here. That's going to line up with the 2 top holes, one either side, and then I'm going to have a piece of metal coming back here in line with the runners and bolt down onto that. Yeah, so hopefully this will give us a bit more further back, which is what I need. Obviously you can slide the seat further forward, but it's getting it back to a point where I can actually sit in it, even though it's my daughter's car, because I like to drive it. So yes, so that's now plan, I'll call it C.5, sounds fun, doesn't it? So yeah, these lovely brackets that I made, yeah, they're not good for much now. So I've probably just wasted, let's see what the time is actually. What are we? 11:45, and I've been down here since about 9 o'clock. So I've just wasted the last 2.5 hours mucking around making brackets that I'm not even going to use. So let's try this option now then. Right, here we go. I've now got the front edge of the seat runner just loosely bolted in onto the fronts there. I've got the seat runner now bolted to a piece of steel that's coming back off of there. So the front's bolted. Now to tackle the rear bit, which here's the original bracket off of the Escort seat runner, and it's approximately 2 inches from there. So here's my solution. Nice and simple. 2 bits of 1-inch box section, bolts all the way through, straight onto the bottom of there. There you go, Bob's your uncle. So this one is going to go inwards. Normally it would go that way on the Escort, but you've got the transmission tunnel, well, whatever you want to call it, the tunnel in the middle there, so it can't go through that way. So it's got to go around this way for this side, and the other side, this side's going to go the conventional way around. No, not that way, that way. Yes. So let's get these bits of box section drilled, get them bolted on, and then that's almost ready, I reckon, to drill some holes in the floor and then bolt the seat in. So that's nearly the driver's side one done. And then I've got to go. First seat in, test fit, good, happy, yeah. Excellent. So that's one seat completely done and in, and I've sort of half done the other side. I've just got the brackets at the back to bolt through the floor. Just got to go and get another bit of box section. Well, thank you for watching again. Hope it hasn't been too boring. I've cut most of the silly bits out where all I'm doing is just cutting bits of metal and welding them together. Sure, you don't really want to see that. Well, hopefully tomorrow I'm going to spend another full day on that. Oh, I've got ever some white. Yeah, so hopefully another day, get that other inner rear wheel arch finished, maybe play a bit more with a spring box, get that a bit finished. So yeah, check back in hopefully tomorrow. Bye bye.